Thursday. We're celebrating Thursday because we are past hump day. We're past hump day, now we're in Thursday. Hey, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Tim Alston, and welcome to the 10 Commandments of Leadership. This is where recovering ego-holics and emerging leaders like you, just like you, where we lead from the middle, and we lead by faith and not by sight. And here's today's 10th commandment. If we stop moving, then you and I will miss the miracle. If you and I stop moving, then you and I will miss the miracle. But if we, as recovering ego-holics and emerging leaders, press forward in faith, then the gates of doubt, despair, delay, and discouragement will swing wide open, and we will move ahead with a pathway beneath our feet, beneath our steps. I learned this lesson, yes, but unfortunately, I learned it the hard way. Back in 1991, I was driving my first car. It was a worn out, I wore it out, I admit it, a 1980 Toyota Tercel with 192,000 miles. And I was driving back to Hampton, Virginia, from Huntsville, Alabama, and back to Hampton. In a word, my car was on life support. But I asked God, Lord, please just get me back home one more time. And you know what? He was answering me. For example, I could see that the power in my car was dimming, the dashboard lights were flickering, and the temperature gauge was rising toward that danger zone. My headlights were barely working, but then God sent what I believe was a miracle. He sent a truck behind me, and its bright light shone basically through my car and lit the road up ahead of me. Well, I was about 28 miles from home, 28 miles from Hampton, and still moving forward. But then I stopped the car. I pulled into a gas station just to check things out. I cut the engine off, and it never turned back on again. That's when I heard from God. It wasn't a very pleasant message. He said, "You fool, you were driving your car not on fumes and not on battery power, but you were driving home by my grace. But when you stopped, you shifted from God confidence to your own self-confidence. You severed that umbilical cord from me to you. Now, had I just pressed on, I believe I would have made it home. No. I would have made it home in the manner that I was going. But for some reason, that just didn't make sense to me. But I later learned it did not need to make sense to me. It just needed to make God sense. Didn't make sense to me. It just needed to make God sense. And that's why today's verse is so on point. And it comes from Proverbs chapter 4, verse 12. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered. And when you run, you will not stumble. Let me say that again. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered. And when you run, you will not stumble. This verse pairs perfectly with today's reflection from the Streams in the Desert devotional book. The devotional today that I read reminds me that faith doesn't come with a roadmap or a GPS. God doesn't build a bridge ahead of us. He builds a bridge right under us, step by step, as we walk. There's an old story about automatic gates that open only if you drive straight forward towards them. But if you stop, they stay shut. But if you keep moving forward, the pressure on the road right in front of them will trigger the opening of that automatic gate. In a way, that's what you call faith in action. Just like those gates, God responds to our motion, not to our hesitation. And that's where ego-holism recovering step number 1 comes in. Glance back quickly before moving forward. Glance back quickly before moving forward. This isn't about nostalgia or fear. It's about truth-telling. The past helps us decide, will we repeat history or will we repulse it and grow? Will we repeat history or will we repulse it and grow? The same goes for the future. It's important to have vision. Please understand me. It's important to have a vision for the future, but vision without presence is just fantasy. It's important to have vision, but vision without presence is just fantasy. That's why I hold tightly to this poetic reminder, often attributed to the ancient Indian poet and dramatist Kalidasa. Yesterday is but a dream. Tomorrow is but a vision. But today well lived will make all your yesterdays a dream of happiness and all of your tomorrows a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day, for such is the salutation of the dawn. Folks, we don't need to know what's coming tomorrow, August 8th, or even in September, or October, or even 2026. That's not our job. Our job is today, and to live this day like the present that it is. Our job is today, to live this day like the present that it is. The past is archived. The future is projected, but the present, that's activated, and that is right now. Are you with me? That's a promise. And so today, my message to you is this. Don't be like me back in 1991 and stop at the gas station of self-doubt. Keep moving, even when it doesn't make logical sense, because it just might make divine sense. That's faith. Faith is the daring of the soul to go further than the eye can see. That's also step 1 of our ego-holism recovering, which is glance back quickly before pressing forward. Hey, I'm Tim Alston. I'm your leadership strategist. I'm your 4-time best-selling Amazon author, and I'm a recovering ego-holic. And I'm reminding you that even if you are leading from the middle, you're still leading. Let's keep walking. Let's keep moving. Let's keep progressing. And let's keep going up the upper road. I hope this message has meant something to you. I hope you've got a little laugh out of silly, foolish Tim Alston back in 1991. I learned my lesson. I don't plan to repeat that process again. And so I would say to you, press on, move forward, and you will be enormously, enormously blessed. All right? Take care. I'll see you tomorrow as we wrap up this first full week of August. Take care. Bye-bye.